I'm not going to storm out of here, Ketch, and I'm not going to admit to you that you got Barbara Novak to fall in love, because I'm not Barbara Novak. There is no Barbara Novak, and I didn't fall in love with Zip Martin. I fell in love with Catcher Block, and that was a year ago, when for 3.5 weeks I worked as your secretary. I don't expect you to remember me, but you did ask me out, and it broke my heart to say no, but I loved you too much. I couldn't bear to become just another notch on your bedpost. I knew that with your dating habits, even if I was lucky enough to get a regular spot on your rotating schedule, I would never have your undivided attention long enough for you to fall in love with me. I knew I had to do something to set myself apart. I knew I had to quit my job as your secretary and write an international bestseller, controversial enough to get the attention of a New York publisher, as well as No Magazine, but insignificant enough that as long as I went unseen, No Magazine's star reporter would refuse to do a cover story about it. I knew that every time we were supposed to meet, you would get distracted by one of your many girlfriends and stand me up. This would give me a reason to fight with you over the phone and declare that I wouldn't meet you for 100 years. Then all I would have to do is be patient and wait the 2 or 3 weeks for everyone in the world to buy a copy of my bestseller, for me to begin to get the publicity I would need for you to, 1, see what I look like, and 2, see me denounce you in public as the worst kind of man. I knew that this would make you want to get even by writing one of your exposés, and in order to do that, you would have to go undercover, assume a false identity, and pretend to be the kind of man who would make the kind of girl I was pretending to be fall in love. I knew that since I was pretending to be the kind of girl who would have sex on the first date, you would have to pretend to be the kind of man who wouldn't have sex for several dates. And in doing so, we'd go out on lots of dates to all the best places and all the hit shows, until finally, one night, you'd take me back to your place, which you were pretending was someone else's, in order to get the evidence you needed to write your expose, by seducing me until I said I love you. But saying I love you was also my plan. I just wanted to tell you the truth, so that when you heard me say I love you, you would know that I knew who you were and you would know who I was. Then you, the great Catcher Block, would realize that you've been beaten at your own game by me, Nancy Brown, your former secretary. And I would have once and for all set myself apart from all those other girls that you never really loved, by making myself like the one person you truly love and admire above all others, you. Then once you realized you had finally met your match, I would have gained the respect I needed for you to want to marry me first and seduce me later. I just wanted to tell you all this before you heard it from your private eye.